If you were to go up to somebody in 2016 and tell them that the SoundCloud rapper with red braids and who's on a Sprite commercial would go on to change music not even a decade later, they would never believe you, and in all honesty, I wouldn't either. On January 27th, 2023, Lil Yachty, also known as Lil Boat, released his fifth studio album, Let's Start Here, and it is nothing like anything else we have ever seen from the Atlanta rapper or anything from any hip hop artist as a whole. Through 14 songs that run across 57 minutes, Yachty gives us his career-defining statement. He gives us his magnum opus. From the otherworldly presentation to the sheer passion and joy you can feel was put into the creation of this record, Let's Start Here is not just one of the most fun albums I have heard in quite some time, but it's a project that reminds me of why I fell in love with music in the first place. In a music industry that's getting more and more overcrowded with generic and safely drawn up experiences, it's none other than Lil Yachty who champions free creative expression, and he just runs with it. The almost 7-minute long intro track, The Black Seminole, is a musical epic that welcomes us to this complete switch in sound and style from Yachty. From the wavy percussion to the warped synths, all the way to the glowing chord progression, this moment masterfully welcomes us into this new era and new world that Yachty has created. Along with the intoxicating atmosphere, Yachty's own vocals float through these musical textures masterfully as he proves to us that he has never understood how to use his one-of-a-kind tone and demeanor better than right here. From track to track, moment to moment, Yachty's artistic shift only sounds more natural as we hear him transport us deeper and deeper into this new world. From the soul-cleansing hook on The Ride to the commanding singing layered into the DNA of Paint the Sky, Lil Yachty's own confidence and understanding of his own vision immerses us into every single moment on this project. While a lot of the subject matter on this project revolves around Yachty's quest for happiness and his failures in finding love, the presentation of it all is just so vibrant and, most importantly, inspiring. It's impossible to put this record on and not just want to be the best version of yourself. At the end of the day, I can sit here and find flaws within the experience, but when you have a record, when you have a body of work that's just so empowering and it feels so magical, what can you really take away from it? Isn't the reason why we're listening to music to feel something real, and to feel something that we can never experience in any other form, any other presentation? Yachty is doing just that. He's transcended from just being one of the most iconic faces of the SoundCloud era and the peak of trap music, and he's shown listeners that he can do anything he desires. This will allow for him to stay in the music business for as long as he wants, as this project is truly incredible in all of its musicality. The section that best highlights the true spirit of this album can be found on the tail end of the melodramatic track, We Saw the Sun. After the grand outro of this moment, we are delighted to hear the one and the only Bob Ross as he talks about the creative process. The whole sentiment of Bob Ross's words is to let your imagination run wild and to let your heart be your guide. He talks about the importance of just letting things happen and to spend less time worrying about everything and striving for this goal of perfection, and this is a really compelling sentiment that the music Yachty's giving us backs up. The moment after this, Drive Me Crazy, feels like the release of Yachty's creative spirit as he bounces beautiful vocal harmonies off singer Deanna Gordon all over this super sunny production. From moments like these to cuts that contain these otherworldly instrumental oceans like I've Officially Lost Vision and Running Out of Time, the ability for Yachty to put together an experience that's both so aesthetically cohesive yet musically dynamic is another one of the many reasons of how he keeps this magic going. When it comes to the musical world building of Let's Start Here, one of the overlying factors that bridges this entire experience into this one beautiful piece is the sheer psychedelicness that possesses the entire soundscape. From Lil Yachty producing on all but one of the 14 tracks, every twist and turn on the score of this project is so calculated from the artist's perspective, but it's so unpredictable to us as listeners. In a record that's so well layered, every detail is a moment in itself. This ranges from Yachty's lathering vocals on the intro of Pretty, and it spans as far as the echoing faintness on the end of The Alchemist. Even though this record is such a switch in everything for Lil Yachty, I really do appreciate that the album manages to capture his spirit and essence so well. This is because of moments like the spoken word interlude Failure, which contains some really powerful words from Lil Yachty, but also because of the ability of songs like Reach the Sunshine to plant the same heart and soul of Yachty into all of its musical chaos. Between taking such a bold risk and standing up to this moment with so much grace, Lil Yachty has really given us a one-of-a-kind musical experience with this project. Yachty definitely did not create psychedelic rock, and a lot of pretentious music heads are trying to bash this record and take away from the moment because they're saying he hopped on a trend, hopped on a style that's been done for 50 years, but they're missing the point. They're not seeing the bigger narrative that's come out of this record. They're not seeing why Lil Yachty has changed music. With the release of Let's Start Here, Lil Yachty has set a new standard for where rappers can go in their career. While we have seen artists like Kanye West and Tyler the Creator switch seamlessly into new styles, sounds, and genres, those artists were praised for their ability to push boundaries from the very start. In the eyes of the consumer, in the eyes of the public, that was something that was embedded into their DNA. Looking at Lil Yachty, he was never viewed in the same light as a Kanye West or a Tyler the Creator or any other of the hip-hop genre benders. Yachty was one of the biggest faces in both one of the most important phases in hip-hop history, but also one of the most polarizing. While many loved the simplistic fun that Yachty brought to trap music, many used him as the poster child for what some would go as far to call talentless mumble rappers. While most people were aware of Yachty's talent and loved what he brought to the trap space, I don't think anybody thought he would be able to thrive outside of it. By crossing over and making a psychedelic rock album, Lil Yachty has shown that for any rapper, no matter where you start from, you can always evolve and your career will never be against the wall as long as you put enough care into the expansion of your craft. This is a monumental moment for hip-hop, as it's showing that the creative playground that the artists play on is just getting bigger and bigger, and the possibilities for greater music are always expanding. Thank you, Lil Yachty, for not just giving us a great experience, but for giving us a powerful moment and for setting an example for future artists, showing that it is never too late and they are never too far to explore their true paths. Now, before we end this video, I will be ranking the track list on Let's Start Here so you can find out what songs I think are the best and what songs I think are the worst. Coming in at number 14, we have the spoken word track Failure, and let me just say, none of these songs are bad. This album has certified no skips, but, Failure is a spoken word track, so it's not going any higher. But at number 14, we got Failure. At 13, we got Running Out of Time. At 12, we got Pretty. At 11, we got Paint the Sky. At 10, we got The Zone. At 9, we got We Saw the Sun. At 8, we got Should I Be. At 7, we got Drive Me Crazy. At 6, we got I've Officially Lost Vision. At 5, we got Say Something. At 4, we got The Ride. At 3, we got The Alchemist. At 2, we got Reach the Sunshine. And at number 1, we got The Black Seminole. And for all of the reasons I've said, for all Let's Start Here accomplishes musically as a body of work, I will be giving this album an 8 out of 10. Please let me know what you think about Let's Start Here in the comments, because it is really one of the most interesting and it's slowly becoming one of the most polarizing and fan favorite albums we have gotten in the trap space from a trap artist, from a popular rapper in a very long time. Be sure to add to the discussion in the comments below. I'm going to be reading every single thing that is said. Thank you all for watching. Maybe hit that subscribe button if you want to see what's next, because we got a lot of really good content coming over here in 2023. Mr. Fantastic Hip Hop, signing out. Have a great day.